You think you know the Gilded Age. Think again. Season 3 wasn't just another chapter in Julian Fellowes' lavish drama. It was a masterclass in heartbreak, revenge, and the silent rise of characters you thought were background players. And if you blink, you might miss the subtle power plays that will completely rewrite everything you thought about the Russells, the Van Rujans, and the people who hold the real strings. Let's dive in. First, Peggy Scott. You've been rooting for her since Season 1, haven't you? A woman trapped in a world where ambition was often married to prejudice, her brilliance ignored, her heart battered by loss. But Season 3 finally gave Peggy her moment. Not a quick, shallow triumph, but a layered, deeply earned victory. When she fell ill, it was almost symbolic the universe seemed to conspire against her happiness. And yet, through Dr. William Kirkland, the story didn't just hand her joy, it tested it. His defiance of his mother, his insistence that Peggy deserves love, creates a tension-filled arc. Will society, tradition, and generational weight crush her again? The answer: not this time. Peggy's journey is proof that sometimes survival is rebellion, and love is the ultimate revolution. But Peggy wasn't the only one under the spotlight. Larry Russell, yes, the young unassuming son of George and Bertha, finally sheds the shadow of blandness. Larry's arc in Season 3 isn't just about romance or rebellion. It's about legacy and cunning under pressure. Did you notice how he leveraged Jack Trotter's clock invention into a six-figure windfall? And that wasn't luck. That was strategy. Larry finally steps out of his father's long shadow, but it comes with controversy. His reconciliation with Marion Brooke is beautiful on the surface, but underneath, you see the tension of unspoken resentments, of ambition clashing with personal relationships. Ask yourself, can someone truly be both honorable and opportunistic in a world fueled by fortune? Larry says yes, and we're watching him prove it. Then there's Oscar Van Rujjan. Poor Oscar. For years, he was the embodiment of failure, a man constantly overreaching, constantly losing. Bankruptcy, heartbreak, a public fall from grace. Season 3 didn't let him off easy. But what the writers did was brilliant. Instead of letting him fade, they handed him an opportunity born of tragedy. John Adams' death becomes a catalyst for Oscar's rise. And then, in a move that could only be described as genius, he pairs with Enid Winterton, lavender marriage, merging ambition with wealth. Suddenly, the man we laughed at is now one to watch. And here's the secret: few notice. Oscar's triumph isn't just about money, it's a quiet declaration that those who endure can manipulate the game better than those born into it. At this point, you might be asking, why focus on these arcs? Because Season 3 isn't just about the Russells' wealth or Bertha's scheming. It's about hidden power. The show has always hinted at unseen forces, silent moves in the grand chessboard of New York high society. Who really controls who? Who is manipulating the family legacies? Every fortune gained or lost carries undercurrents of manipulation. Peggy's happiness challenges the status quo. Larry's rise shifts the balance. Oscar's cunning proves that desperation is a sharper tool than birthright. And speaking of secrets, here's where things get darker. Did you catch the subtle cues in Peggy and William's courtship? His mother, Elizabeth, isn't just a hurdle. She represents the old guard of New York's prejudice and elitism. Every act of defiance against her authority signals a broader theme. The past may be heavy, but the present is negotiable. Meanwhile, Larry's business acumen and Oscar's alliances reveal an uncomfortable truth: social mobility isn't just money. It's leverage. And leverage comes from understanding weaknesses no one else notices. That's the forbidden knowledge Season 3 teases, but doesn't always explicitly show. Now, let's pause. I need you to think. Which characters do you believe truly have the upper hand? Is it the wealthy and domineering Bertha Russell, whose grip on society seems absolute? Or is it the overlooked Peggy, Larry, Oscar, who survive heartbreak, manipulation, and tragedy and quietly grow stronger behind the scenes? Personally, I'd bet on the latter. And here's why: Season 3 thrives on inversion. The expected heroes and villains aren't what they seem. The rich and powerful stumble, while the underestimated claw their way to influence. It's a classic Fellowes twist. Power is never what it looks like, and survival is the real currency. Let me drop this one thought. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's the moment. Because understanding these arcs isn't just entertainment, it's a guide to recognizing narrative mastery. And you want to be here when we unpack Ada and Gladys, the most surprising rises in Season 3. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. Now, let's talk Ida Forte. For 2 seasons, she seemed like the quiet sister, almost invisible compared to the social theatrics of Agnes Van Rujjan or the ruthless ambition of the Russells. But Season 3 flipped the script. Suddenly, Ada isn't just a background character. She's a symbol of resilience and unexpected authority. Her marriage to Reverend Luke Forte, brief as it was, gave her financial independence. But more importantly, it gave her purpose and a platform. When Agnes struggles with losing power in the family home, Ada steps up, not with cruelty or manipulation, but with grace and intelligence. She becomes the linchpin, the quiet force behind key decisions. And here's the secret: most viewers miss. Ada's influence is subtle, almost invisible, but it shifts the balance of power in ways that even the Russells can't anticipate. Think about that for a second. Ada's rise isn't flashy. There's no scandal, no dueling social events, no headline-grabbing drama. Yet her power is undeniable. By allowing Agnes to take the ceremonial title of President of the New York Heritage Society, while Ada controls the real influence behind the scenes, the show gives us a lesson in strategy and patience. True power doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers, and those who listen closely are the ones who win. And then there's Gladys Russell, perhaps the most dramatic transformation of all. From a minor, somewhat naive daughter in Season 1 to the Duchess of Buckingham by Season 3, Gladys' story is tragic, thrilling, and deeply human. Her arranged marriage wasn't just a plot device, it was a crucible. Betrayal from her parents, pressure from society, and the humiliations from Lady Sarah Vere could have crushed her. Yet she survives, and in surviving, she triumphs. By the end of Season 3, she's not only powerful in title, but also carrying the promise of legacy, pregnant, aware of her influence, and finally claiming agency over her own life. Here's where Season 3 truly shows its brilliance. The rise of these 5 characters, Peggy, Larry, Oscar, Ada, and Gladys, illustrates the hidden mechanics of the Gilded Age world. Money, titles, and inheritance are obvious tools, but the real game is subtle manipulation, emotional intelligence, and the courage to endure betrayal. These are the characters who understand that power isn't always visible. Sometimes it's earned through endurance, empathy, and quiet cunning.